If you want 2025 to actually be your year, then there is no better time for you to actually start building the habits that are going to get you there. If you don't know me, my name is Haley, and I'm your realistic and balanced bestie, helping you build a stronger brain and body. Today, I am breaking down 10 easy to build habits that are going to actually transform your mindset, your energy, and your health before 2025. And we are going to cover everything in this. So we've got some fitness habits to build, we've got some health habits to build, we've got mindset habits, we've got everything in here that is going to ensure that you are absolutely transforming into the person that you actually want to be. Before we get into it, please make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel down below so that you can help me push this content out to more people and so that we can all be our best selves before 2025. And as always, be sure to check the description down below for a bunch of free resources for your fitness and mindset journey. And with all of that being said, let's get into the 10 habits that you absolutely need to build before 2024 is over. The first and possibly most important is to start your day by chugging water. This is not only going to obviously hydrate you, but it's going to get everything going. It's going to kickstart your metabolism, and it is going to honestly wake you up so much more than you could have ever imagined. And I personally find that when I chug water first thing in the morning, I actually feel like I'm thirstier throughout the rest of the day, which just makes it a little bit easier for you to actually stay on top of drinking water. Because I know for me, if I go to like 1 p.m. before I actually drink water, I am not going to hit my water goal for that day. I'm not going to actually drink the amount of water that I need to drink because I didn't start till midday, and my body didn't realize that it was dehydrated until midday. And then that is when I'm going to start being like, oh, I'm a little bit thirsty. Maybe I should drink some water right now. Or worst case scenario, you go the entire day without drinking water, and then you're like, wow, I feel really thirsty, and you end up quenching that thirst with a Diet Coke. So to avoid that, we're going to start our day by chugging at least 8 to 16 ounces of water. The more you can chug, the better. Obviously, you don't need to chug an entire gallon first thing in the morning, but if you can get anywhere from 8 to 20 ounces of water within the first hour of waking up, you are going to notice such a difference in your entire body, honestly, and your energy levels and just everything in general. The second habit to build is a dedicated movement time. So no matter what the form of movement that you choose is, whether you are just going on a daily walk or you're just doing a daily stretch, maybe you go to the gym every single day, make sure that you have an actual dedicated time for this. You're not leaving it to the day of and being like, oh, I'll figure out tomorrow when I can go to the gym. You are dedicating time ahead of time. So maybe you're taking time on Sunday to be like, okay, this week I have 3 days after work where I can go to the gym. So I'm going to pencil in on those 3 days the times that I'm actually going to the gym. And then maybe on the other 2 days, I don't have time to go to the gym. So I'm going to just wake up and do a little bit of stretching in my apartment before I go to work that day. Planning ahead when you are actually going to go do whatever form of movement you choose is going to make such a difference because it's going to keep you more accountable to actually doing it because it's something that you actually took the time to schedule out ahead of time. And if you're somebody who has kids or you have to work around other people's schedules, making sure that you have that time dedicated and that all of the people in your life know about this time is going to help you so much more, because if you have to, say, get a babysitter for you to go to the gym, you're going to actually go to the gym because you just got a babysitter to watch your kids while you're going to the gym. And if you told your boyfriend, oh, I'm going to meet up with you after I go to the gym, that's going to hold you accountable to actually going to the gym, because as soon as you see him, he's going to say, how was your workout? And you don't want to be like, oh, I didn't go, because that's just kind of embarrassing and nobody wants to deal with that, because we all have egos and it's not going to want us to have to admit that we didn't actually do what we said we're going to do. So no matter what you choose, just be consistent with it and actually pencil it in and make sure that it's something that you are setting aside real time to actually commit to. The third habit to build is a better sleep schedule. This means I want you to actually try to commit to getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. Even if you feel like you're going to bed ridiculously early to make this happen, I want you to actually commit to it and make sure that you have a consistent routine. You have something that you're doing before bed that's actually going to wind you down. You have a full routine that is actually going to make you stay committed to this. You're not just sitting there and winging it every single night. You want to build some kind of habit that's going to tell your body, okay, it's time to go to bed. It's time to wind down. Whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're watching TV before bed, I know some people are going to say you shouldn't watch anything before bed. You shouldn't have any electronics. And yes, I do agree that's probably the best thing to do. That's probably what's the smartest to do, but it's not really always realistic. And if you have a comfort show or something that you know does not stress you out before you go to sleep, then I don't see the harm in watching that. I know obviously people are probably going to come for me for saying that, but I personally watch TV before I go to bed, and I always just pick something that isn't scary, it isn't really anxiety inducing, it's not something that's going to trigger any kind of emotions in me. It's just something that's lighthearted, it's easy to watch, and it's gonna kind of put me to sleep just because it's something that I'm comfortable with. So whatever you can do to kind of put you into this mode of getting ready for bed and knowing that it's time to go to sleep, find what it is for you and just stick to it. Try to make it something that you are consistently doing every single night, even if at first it's a little bit out of order, or maybe you don't do it at the same time every single night. Make sure that you are just committing to doing maybe 2 to 3 non-negotiables every single night before you go to bed, so that you can start to train your body to get used to knowing when it's time to go to sleep. And obviously in general, making sure that you are being conscious of what your wake up time is compared to when you're going to sleep. So if you know you have to wake up at 6 a.m., maybe don't stay up till 2 a.m. the night before. There's always going to be situations and there's always going to be things that happen, but as much as you can control it, try to control it. Habit number 4 is a daily mindfulness practice. So whatever mindfulness looks like to you, this might be a gratitude journal, this might be a full meditation moment, this might be just saying affirmations or doing some kind of body scan or breath work. Not only is this going to kind of just get you in a better headspace for your day, even if you can only do it at night or if you only do it on your lunch break, whatever it is, make sure that you just have this in your day. I would recommend doing it first thing in the morning because I personally find that that is when it works the best for me, because I don't have everybody else's thoughts and opinions and things that they've complained about in the day already in my head. I'm kind of starting a little bit more fresh. So I prefer to do this first thing in the morning, but if you can only do it at night or you don't have any other time in your day where it would work to do something like this, then just fit it in when you can. But the point of doing some kind of mindfulness practice is that you want to really just center yourself. You want to try to lower your stress down. You want to try to just focus on what your body is telling you and what things you need to focus on for yourself. Habit number 5 to build is building some kind of meal prep routine into your weekly schedule. So even if you are meal prepping the food as a whole, so if you just make the chicken and you just put chicken in your fridge and then throughout the week you use it for different things, so maybe you make a chicken teriyaki bowl one night or you make chicken tacos the next night, just having even bigger ingredients prepped and having some kind of routine and system to do that is going to help you so much in the long run. And not only just in the way of the health benefits that it's going to get you from eating more options at home, but it's just in general going to make you a little bit more conscious of the foods that you're eating, because you will have to plan this out at least a day in advance so that you can know what to buy, know what to make, and know a general idea of the meals that you want to make, which is just going to make food a little bit more of a mindful decision, which in general is just such a great habit to have, because the more that we have food and eating as a mindless type of habit, the more that you're going to find that you get into unhealthy relationships with food and find yourself feeling upset and maybe frustrated around the concept of eating. But if you can be a little bit more mindful just in general about the things that you're eating, you're going to find that you're less likely to have really big binges or a lot of unhealthy snacking habits or just unhealthy eating habits in general. Habit number 6 is to incorporate 10 to 15 minutes of reading every single day. So even if you're reading a fiction book, I would still count this as 10 to 15 minutes of reading every single day, because overall, you just want to make sure that you're reading. You want to make sure that you're getting the benefits of learning new things, learning new perspectives, getting new information. And even if you're getting it from a fiction book, this is still new information. You are still expanding your brain and you're still getting something out of the words that you're reading, which is just so good for our brains in general. Obviously, you want to try to sprinkle in some kind of knowledge-based reading into there as much as possible. So even if it's a self-help book or maybe a book on a topic that you're really interested on, whatever it might be, try to just sprinkle in some of the more boring literature every once in a while, because you are going to benefit really, really greatly from reading things like that. Habit number 7 is to limit our screen time before bed. I know I just told you that you can watch TV before bed, but I would try to recommend to maybe lessen the amount of time that you spend on your actual phone right before bed, because just having that blue light super close to our face is just not the best thing for us as we are trying to go to bed, have a good sleep, and get a lot of really good quality rest. I know that iPhones do have the setting to turn on more of a red kind of film over the screen before we go to bed. I have mine turn on around 7 p.m. and it's just kind of like a reddish, yellowish light that the screen turns to, and I'm not entirely sure that it actually makes that much of a difference. So I do try to, regardless, just put my phone away about an hour before I go to bed, because I find that it does actually make me a little bit more tired, and I find that I get a little bit better quality sleep when I'm not scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on something where I'm looking 6 inches away from my phone right before I go to sleep. So if you need to use an app to actually lock your phone and force yourself to not be able to scroll on any apps, I use the app ScreenZen. I've also used the app Ochi before, and these are the only free ones that I found. If you have any other suggestions, please comment them below. But I personally don't really have the greatest willpower when it comes to turning off my phone and not scrolling on it, so I did have to use something to actually lock me out, and I would highly recommend if you are anything like me. Habit number 8 is a daily gratitude practice, and we kind of talked about this in the mindfulness section, but I think even if you are doing a mindfulness moment in the morning, even if it's some kind of journaling, you also need to have a gratitude practice that you do, whether it's at the same time or maybe right before you go to bed. I have a notes app list that I just keep because that's more likely for me to add to it throughout the day. So I will just kind of write things down as I go throughout the day and as good things are happening to me. Even if it's something like I just got the last parking spot at Chipotle, I will still write that down because that is still a good thing that just happened to me. So I'm trying to just be a little bit more conscious of it as I go throughout the day. But I do find that when I first started doing this, I needed to dedicate a little bit of time to actually sit down and go over all the things that happened in my day and really become conscious of what the good things are. But because I've been doing this for a while, I do feel like I notice them a little bit easier right after they happen, which is why a notes app works really great for me. But I would recommend, even if you still just do it in your notes app right before you go to bed, trying to really think deep about all of the good things that happened to you that day and then write them down so that you can become a little bit more used to noticing these things as they happen. Habit number 9 is to build some kind of daily step goal to hit, and I think this is just such a great option whether you like to go on walks or even if you're somebody who hates cardio like me and really prefers doing weightlifting. I still try to have some kind of step goal that I aim to hit every single day. This is obviously going to depend on your lifestyle and things like that. So if you work a desk job, it's going to be a lot harder for you to hit 10,000 steps every single day unless you work from home and you can get a walking pad or something like that. But I know for me, I work in an office. I can't bring a walking pad into the office. I can't even do a standing desk really. So hitting a 10,000 step goal every single day is probably not the most realistic, but hitting something like 4,000 or 5,000 steps every single day is a lot more realistic because I can spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes after my workout just walking and scrolling on TikTok, or I can go for a walk when I get home. Whatever it is, I try to just pick a realistic step goal for me. And if you have an iPhone and it tracks your steps, you can kind of get an average of what a normal week or a normal day looks like for you, and then maybe just add a little bit more to that amount and make that your goal so that it's something that's still achievable and it's not super insane, but it's still something that's doable for you. And habit number 10 is to set up some kind of weekly review time with yourself. So you really want to make sure that you're actually taking 10 to 20 minutes at least once a week to sit down and really go over your entire past week. Go over what went well, go over what didn't go well, go over what you still want to achieve. Make sure that you have some kind of list of your long-term goals that you can look on and you can be like, okay, if I want to achieve this big goal over here, then there are a few steps that I need to take to get there, and maybe I can pencil in one of these steps every few weeks to make sure that I'm actually on track to hitting that bigger goal. This weekly review is also a great time to go over your habits and see what you've been doing or not doing and be like, okay, how can I change up my schedule so that I can actually achieve these things? Is there something that's absolutely not working and it's never going to work for me? Maybe I just need to get rid of that one and replace it with another habit that's actually a little bit more realistic for me. Having some kind of weekly review system and even a monthly review system is something that is so important, and it's made such a difference for me because I feel like when I'm actually looking at my goals and what I've done objectively, it gives me a little bit more of a push to actually achieve the things that I want to achieve. I find that if I don't have some kind of system that's actually keeping me accountable to things, then I kind of just get lost in limbo, and I kind of just am floating around not really knowing what to focus on and what I need to do next. And so having this weekly check-in is something that has drastically improved my life and improved my productivity in general. And the beauty of starting to incorporate all 10 of these habits before 2025 is that when 2025 actually hits, you're going to already have all of these habits established, and you're going to actually be the person that you want it to be. And you're going to be starting off 2025 as this new and improved version of you, and it's going to make it so much easier for you to set New Year's resolutions or 12-week resolutions, and you're gonna actually pick things that are realistic to this new version of you and not things that are gonna feel super unrealistic, because you're proving to yourself that you can already do hard things because you've established all of these habits that are actually improving your life, and you've already got them all set in stone. So I am definitely curious which of these habits you are going to start to implement first. So please comment it down below or tag me on Instagram at Haley Lene with whatever habits you're starting to incorporate next. But that is all that I've got for you today. So until next time, be kind to your mind, to your body, and to others, and happy healing.